to pray in your various ways. May all our prayers be accepted. From there, we would like to invite all of you here for another session, and we'll like to invite the Vice President, Mr. Modu Lewis, to give us the opening remarks. Mr. VP.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Am I audible and visible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, Assalamu alaikum and good evening to everyone and welcome. It's a pleasure to see all of you here tonight again. As tonight promises to be a very thought provoking debate. On behalf of the President and the entire NAND executive, as the Vice President of the Association of Gambian Students in India, I'm honored to kick things off. So tonight we are going to tackle a very crucial question. Does the Gambian government operate as an autocratic regime? This is not just an academic exercise. It's a discussion that hits at the heart of our nation's identity, its future, and the values we hold there. We need to be able to talk about the challenges our country is facing. And I encourage all of you to listen with open mind, engage respectfully, and contribute your insight. Let's use this platform to deepen our understanding, challenge our assumptions, and work together to build a better future for the Gambia. Thank you once again for joining. And I also extend our heartfelt gratitude to our partners, that is the UTGDA. Thank you very much for the partnership. Yeah, Mr. Moderator, we can proceed. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. VP, for those inspiring words. Yeah, and at this point, it is my honor to actually welcome our educators for this night, whom will guide us with their expertise and fairness throughout today's debate. The education desk, if you are here, if you are set, the house is yours.
Thank you very
Um, Sorry, Mr. Ba, I doubt. Sorry, may I please confirm the presence of participants? May you please raise your hand if they are present? The people of Assam and Rajasthan.
Thank you, moderator. May I please confirm if I'm audible, please? Awesome. So yeah, like I was saying, thank you once again for giving us the opportunity to adjudicate the Gam-Ind Interstate Debate Championship. It is also a learning experience for us, like it is a learning experience for the debate participants. So like we normally do it.
Sorry. Is it only from my end? Mr. Ba, you're not quite audible. Um, Mr. Al-Ghazin? Mr. Lamin Ba, can you please check with Mr. Al-Ghazin? He's not responding.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
Awesome. Sorry, it's my mic. So I was saying that we're going to judge you through the following rubrics. That is the structure that you would be presenting. And aside from the structure, also your content. And aside from the content, we're also going to look at your rebuttals and strengthening skills. For the case of the Prime Minister, we are not going to look at your rebuttals and strengthening skills. Rather, we are going to look at your definitions of the key terms and how well you were able to present your case. And aside from that, like I said, you're also expected to bring in maximum energy and convince the judges. I hope that was better. Awesome. Thank you. So, if the House is set, we would love to hear from the Prime Minister. Will kindly give us a minute, please.
The House is set to hear from the Prime Minister of the House. Yeah, yeah.
Assalamu alaikum. Am I audible? Honorable speakers, respected judges, worthy opponents, and esteemed audience. My name is Pamalik Sise, representing Assam State. Today, as the Prime Minister, together with my Deputy Prime Minister, I raised to propose the motions. This House believes that the government of the Gambia is operating as an autocratic regime. Honorable Speaker, I will first start defining and debate the motions, set parameters, present three concrete arguments points, summarize, then conclude. We define autocratic regimes as a system of government where power is concentrated in the hands of one or small group. Institutions like parliaments and courts are weak. Citizens face punishment for dissent. Elections exist but do not bring the real change we want in the country. Honorable Speaker, we are not saying Gambia is 100% or full dictatorship, but we are saying the country has strong features of dictatorship. The country is operating in dictatorship. This should be clear to my worthy opponents. The country is characterized by dictatorship style. To start with, my first point, power is still centralized, meaning the power is just made at the executive levels. All the power in the country is made at the executive levels. President Barrow promised us change, but he has left and hold the power with himself. Let's just look at the 2020 draft constitutions. What happened there? Constitution prepared by the constitution prepared by the Constitutional Review Commissions was rejected by the parliament aligned with the Barrow administrations. They reject this for a reason. Not just they reject it, because they know that if this constitution was approved, it can limit the president's the term he should spend in the office. That's why they reject this, so that they can be in office for a longer period of time, for only their self first. He made deals with Jamba's all parties also, which weakens the justice effort. He just go and make partnership with Gambia Debate Party. All those are some things they are doing. Those characteristics are showing us dictatorship stuff. Because when he aligned with those parties, it will be weaken those justice their effort. The effort they should make to ensure that everyone is accountable for their actions. Now it will be weakened because he is now working with those Jamba's peoples. What recently happened in the Auditor General, Mohamed Sise? There's a case that happened. Mohamed Sise, President wanted to change his position to be a trade minister. Why is that happening? Because they know that the Auditor General always consider what is happening there, how they spend, how they collect the money, what they are doing. Is revealing all those secret things they are doing. Now they want to change him to bring another person there so that they can continue doing those abnormal behavior they are doing in the country. Honorable Speaker, I will further extend my second point will be people are afraid to speak. You are speaking today. That does not mean that everybody is allowed to speak. Because they fear when they speak, they will arrest them. Because we see that a lot of protests have been going on in the Gambia. Journalists like Madi Jobate. What happened to Madi Jobate? Because he criticized the government and they have arrested him. This criticization should be something that would, in democracy, it should be something that will encourage the government to work hard, to adjust, but it's not something that you will arrest people for just saying something to you. But A student named Lamin J is an economics student from the university. This also is reported by Faro Network 2024. They arrest this student also. Simple reason because the student is protesting against over raising tuition fee, delay in scholarship payments. These are peaceful protests. When people protest, there should not be like violence or other things. They should not just arrest them for doing peaceful protests. In democracy, there is a freedom. Where is the freedom? If this there is a freedom, why people are protesting peacefully and you are using tear gas or beating them or arresting them? All these features show that the country is now autocratic regimes. Furthermore, my last point will be fake democracy. There is a fake democracy in the country. Election exists, but that don't mean there is a real change. We know that there is election in the country. We are not arguing that there is no election in the country, but that does not bring a real change in the country. Because state media support the ruling party. All those state media, they always focus on the ruling party. And those state resources are not only for the government, they are for the people. Even the opposition should be there. But all those resources, any time they are doing advertising, they will just focus on bringing out things that are important to the government or what government do. They will never bring about the challenges or where government should work on hard. Government-owned outlets mostly promote President Barrow and give little airtime to opposition posts. This was highlighted in 2025 report by political scientist Lamin Keita. Lamin Keita reported this, who said media pressure and bias are signs of democratic black siding. Yeah, because when there's bias there and there are pressure that media should just cover this kind of thing, they should broadcast anything that is good about the government. We are seeing their black side. They are not giving them full freedom that, those media house can be free. Anything going in the country, they can broadcast it, but there's a limit for those media house. Opposition parties face harassment. That's fake democracy. Why should you harass those opposition? Those opposition should be a symbol for you that will make you that will encourage you to work hard. Because those criticizing you, telling you words, is something that should be as a tool to motivate you to work very well. In April 2025, Dr.
Mr.
Ismail,
Prime Minister, I am sorry, but your time is up.
but but today you don't clap.
Yes, that is what I want to in fact come to. I think
You don't
Mr.
clap.
President was. Yeah, that is what I want to clarify. I think he was battling with network issues. That is why it was not highlighted here. Am I audible? I am sorry for that. We apologize for that inconvenience. Uh, am I audible?
Yes, you are. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Please,
Thank you.
you are.
Thank you. So yes, Mr. President, you can kindly clarify that. Then we move on to before we move on to the opposition leader, please.
To summarize, I would like to summarize before moving further. Honorable Speaker,
I'm sorry, but your time is up. We just want to clarify the time issue.
but you should inform us like you clap and tell us 1 minute left.
Yes, exactly. That is why we apologize for that. I think it was based on network issues and not actually uh, on purpose, done on purpose. It was from the president. I think he was speaking for like minutes, but it was not really audible. He was not really audible. So we apologize for that. So that is why we
Okay, so can we do it this way?
just give us a minute. Then we have our discussion. Then we confirm, please. Thank you.
Okay, can we do it this way? So the time is actually 7 minutes, and like he said, it was a mistake from our side. Maybe we were enjoying your discord, your debate, so much that we could not this thing, we could not clap at the 6th minute. But now we would now be giving you 1 minute to do your summary, and this 1 minute would be extended to all the other debaters to make up for that, please. So you now have 1 more minute, please.
In summary, I began by defining the autocratic regimes. Clearly mentioned what we are debating on. That is, the Gambia has a strong autocratic feature that dominates how the country is running. We don't say that there is no dictatorship, there is no democracy in the country, or there is 100% dictatorship in the country, but we mean that the country is running autocratic regimes, meaning that it dominates the democracy, which was right now. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, and voting at opponents, democracy is more than voting. It's not just about voting. Freedom of people, fairness, and leaders who follow rules. But the leaders we are having there, they just make decisions for themselves. They don't consider anyone. Any decision they are making, they make it top levels without considering the public, and even public protests, they should resign, they should reject what they want to do, but they just never do those kind of things. I thank you all for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Honorable Prime Minister. Kindly give us some time, please, to have your marks noted down. Thank you.
Haryana, forever hungry for another shot at glory. Passion, power, and warrior spirit, Punjab, to the desert born and fortress strong, Rajasthan. The heart of India, precise and balanced Madhya Pradesh. Tradition, fused with flair. Last year's finalist, Andhra Pradesh, then to the fearless logic and ancient wisdom of Tamil Nadu, the innovative, bold, and unstoppable state of Karnataka. From Haryana, the pioneers and first ever champions, to Gujarat, the roaring lions and defending champions of the second edition. The big question now is, which state will rise to glory this year?
Under the leadership of His Excellency, Mr. Sajo A.K. Jaju, the Ninth Executive Council proudly presents the fiercest intellectual battleground of the year, the third edition of the Gam-Ind Interstate Debate Championship. The stakes, nothing less than the coveted trophy of glory, and don't forget, the Hall of Legends already has some names carved in history. Kunda Esba,
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Hello. So the House is now set and ready to hear the opposition leader.
Okay. Okay. So, good evening, distinguished judges, ladies and gentlemen. They say when the roots are deep, there is no reason to fear the wind. And today, our motion is rooted firm in truth. And this debate is not about imagination, but about reality. And reality is standing with us. The hands are clear, the solutions are necessary, and the future depends on it. And I'm still right in front of you today, not to whisper, not to wonder, but to win. Because our side holds the light and let it always defeat darkness. So Ladies and gentlemen, before going further, I would like to define the motion. Then I will rebut the nonsense and tasteless points made by the other members. Then from there, I will summarize. Then I will conclude. The motion before us is this House believes that the government of the Gambia operates as an autocracy regime. But now, what is autocracy? Autocracy is a system of government where one person holds absolute power, where citizens have no voice and are completely absent. So, our case as the opposition is clear. While the Gambia has these challenges, it doesn't operate as an autocratic regime. They are democratic structures, elections, a parliament, and independent judiciary and civil society engagement. My opponent mentioned that he said the Gambia operating in they operate in dictatorship. They claim Gambia is a dictatorship, but let's
POI,
define dictatorship. Let's define.
POI. We don't
Please
say
allow me
Gambia.
to shoot. Let me educate you. Let me educate you. Listen and educate you. They claim Gambia is a dictatorship, but let's define dictatorship. Dictatorship means absolute rule with no opposition, no election, no freedom. And if the Gambia were truly a dictatorship, will opposition parties exist? Will we even be debating this openly today? And they are claiming it's a mislevel and a shadow, not a reality.
POI.
And also
POI.
they said it is a sit down, let me educate you. They said fake democracy. They said fake democracy, but democracy not a restaurant and sorry, I made a mistake. All right. They say the president is too powerful. Let me tell you, side of executive power doesn't equal autocracy. And by that logic, every presidential democracy is autocratic. And in Gambia, the president is still bound by the constitution and subject to elections. And also, the reason why I against this motion that says government of the Gambia operates as an autocratic regime. First, we have democratic elections that exist. The Gambia holds a regular multi-party election, and citizens have voted out leaders before. And in autocracy, leaders stay for life. But in Gambia, power changes hands through ballots, not bullets. And secondly, there is checks and balances remain. There is an active parliament, judiciary, and civil society organizations that challenge government policies. That is not autocracy. That is democracy in practice, even imperfect. Thirdly, we have freedom of expression, and that is alive from radio stations to social media. Gambians speak freely and criticize leaders daily. No one in an autocracy has that freedom. And for example, democratic election exists, yes, because Gambia has voted out leaders before. Example, the former president Jammeh. Yes, he has to be removed to that ballot box, not the bullet. And if it were autocracy elections, will be meaningless. So I'm saying this ballots are stronger than bullets in the Gambia, and that is democracy, not autocracy. And also, let me tell you something. Even sugar is sweet, but too much becomes diabetes. Likewise, power may be strong, but strength does not always mean dictatorship. And what my opponents call autocracy, I call democracy in progress. And autocracy silence violence, but in Gambia, voices are loud and clear. Distinguished judges, today we have seen two sides, one building fear and other building facts. The government side gave us shaky claims that we showed and elections exist, institution, person, and citizens have a voice. And ladies and gentlemen, I stand not on shaky stories. And if there is one thing, I got on the truth that even the wind cannot blow away. And if there is one thing clear today, it is this my point with solution and their side with confusion. And at the end of the day, the judges must how to call there is must wisdom must triumph over noise, and the wisdom is at my side. So I leave you with this. If the roots of my arguments are deep, and when the roots are deep, no wind can shake them. I rest my case.
Thank you, opposition leader. Kindly give us a minute to compile all the marks for you. Thank you.
Their name in history this year, who will rise above the rest and claim the throne. At the heart of it all, the adjudication desk. powered by seasoned debaters and adjudicators from the University of the Gambia Debate Association, UTGDA. This bench would ensure fairness, excellence, and brilliance in every ruling.
Registration is still on. Still hesitant? Still thinking? Please don't. I will be there.
I will be there. We will be there. The only one missing might just be you. So, what are you waiting for? This won't be complete without you. This is the moment. This is the stage. Be there, where every word makes history.
Thank you, Madam Opposition Leader. The House is now set and ready to hear from the Deputy Prime Minister. Yeah. 1 minute. Yes, Assalamu alaikum and good evening to my people of India, and also good afternoon to my Gambian people also in here. Yes, I am Sulaiman Boop, Deputy Prime Minister, representing Assam State in this debate. And yes, today, honorable members, honorable judge, I rise to strongly support the case made by the Prime Minister. We have already shown that Gambia's government is not truly democratic. Power is concentrated in the hand of the president and a small circle of allies. Some may argue, rather, my opponent argued, but the Gambia holds elections. Yes, elections are held, but as Freedom newspaper reported in June 2024, elections lose meaning when corruption is rampant, when people fear speaking out, and when rules are twisted. The president refused to pass the new constitution, which limits his term in power. This was not by accident, this was deliberate to tighten his grip on power. Honorable members, let us remember the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission, which exposed torture, killings, and abuse under Jammeh's rule. The Center of Research and Justice noted in April 2025 that instead of punishing those responsible, President Barrow chose to make political deals with Jammeh's old party. This is like shaking hands with the very people who caused so much suffering. A government that ignores justice and protects abusers is not democratic. It is clinging to power at all costs. Another point, a true democracy gives people the right to speak freely. But in Gambia, citizens live in fear. Fatu Network reported that journalists, activists, and even students are arrested for simply expressing their view. In November 2024, a student named Lamin J was arrested just for leading a peaceful protest. Honorable members, when young people are silenced for standing up peacefully, this is not freedom, this is fear. And fear is the very weapon autocratic governments use to control their people. And another point I would like to make, honorable members, let us remember that democracy means transparency and accountability. Yet in the Gambia, deals are made in the shadows. The Center of Democracy and Development highlighted in 2024 that anti-corruption bodies are weak and ineffective. For example, when Far Limited suddenly pulled out of its oil blocks, Fatu Network reported that this decision was taken in secret, hidden from the people. Honorable Speaker, this secrecy proves one thing: the government prioritizes enriching itself and its allies rather than serving the Gambian people. My final thoughts, honorable members, democracy is not just about casting votes. It is about justice, transparency, freedom of speech, and leaders who respect the rules. The Gambian government fails in all these counts. Independent and respected sources like Freedom Newspaper, Fatu Network, The Standard, and CED West Africa all confirm the same truth. The Gambian government wears the mask of democracy, but behind that mask lies autocracy. To conclude, honorable members, the truth is clear. The Gambian government uses fear to silence, ignores justice, and manipulates power to its advantage. This is not democracy, this is autocracy. For this reason, I urge this House to support the motion. Thank you all for your kind attention. Thank you, Deputy Prime Minister. Mr. Moderator, give us 1 minute to compile the scores as usual. Thank you.
Absolutely. Greetings, Speaker, and the honorable members here present. In my capacity as a Prime Minister, I will start by giving this honorable House the structure of my debate. I'll start by tabling my motion, define the key terms found in the motion. I will set my parameters, give my own points, pre-review the points of the opposition bench. I will accept one POI in the 5th minute of my debate. I will summarize, and then after which I shall conclude. Strictly following the structure of my debate, the motion table reads, this House believes that the current Gambian government is undemocratic. Now to the definition of my key terms found in the motion. I will first start with the term current. Current refers to something happening or being used at the present time. Now to the term the Gambia. The Gambia is a country in Western Africa situated on the Atlantic coast and surrounded by the neighboring country of Senegal. It occupies.
Is that a recording or? Oh, great.
Yeah, it's a recording from last year.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Moderator. The House is also set and ready to hear from the last speaker of the debate, and that is the Deputy Opposition Leader. Yeah.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Honorable, can I confirm my audibility, please? All right. Assalamu alaikum once again. Good evening, everyone. Honorable judges, my respected coordinators. My role here today is simple. It's to show why the points of the opposition, the prime minister, falls under the weight of facts and truth, and to reinforce why the Gambia is still a democratic country. As the deputy opposition leader, first allow me to give the structure of my debate. I will start by giving the structure of my debate. I will define the key terms, give the perimeter, give my own concise point, review the points of the deputy prime minister, accept POIs, summarize, and after which I shall conclude. Mr. Speaker, the motion at hand states that the Gambia government operates as an autocratic regime. An autocracy is a government in which the power is concentrated on a single individual known as an autocrat. This term autocratic or autocracy is in fact a Greek word. Auto means self and kratos means power. And autocrats lead their country with absolute authority, free from checks, balance, and they are above the law. Autocrats are at will to change or reshape the law of the country. In the Gambia, that is not happening. So this definition proves that the Gambia is not an autocratic country. Mr. Speaker, my speech will be concentrated on the facts and realities unfolding in the Gambia. So the Gambia will be my perimeter. I will not go beyond the Gambia. According to World Population Review, autocracy is divided into two: closed autocracy and elective autocracy. A closed autocracy is one in which neither the president nor the legislatures are chosen by election. So the average person has absolutely no opportunity to help in choosing the leadership of the country. In the Gambia, we hold elections. Gambia holds elections every 5 years, so this definition doesn't suit Gambia. Clearly, Gambia is a democratic state. An elective autocracy is an autocracy. It's a rule system of government that holds public multi-party election that theoretically gives citizenry the role to choose their leader. However, those elections typically lack many safeguards to keep these elections or those elections free and fair. Mr. Speaker, according to the United Nations, African Union, and ECOWAS, the Gambia holds free and fair election in 2016. The Gambia holds free and fair election in 2021. So this definition also refers to the Gambia. The Gambia is clearly a democratic state.
POI.
Mr.
POI. Is it only election? Is it only election determine a country democracy?
Exactly. So the reason why Gambia is a democratic state, from the points given by the Deputy Prime Minister. The Deputy Prime Minister states that the Gambia doesn't hold free and fair election. I have repeated that point. The United Nations, the African Union, and ECOWAS stated that the Gambia holds free and fair election. Also, he gave a point that there is no freedom of speech in the Gambia. And he made reference of Fadu Network. Fadu Network is a private-owned media house, not a state media house. If that private-owned media house can come out and give these points, that the Deputy Prime Minister clearly states that. What is that? In an autocratic state, Fadu Network wouldn't dare to give such a criticism about the government. And mind you, government being critical about public opinion doesn't mean that the government is forbidding public opinion. The government also has to safeguard its integrity. The government has to make sure that certain things are unknown to the public. So you, as a government, you cannot just make everything public. For instance, in the defense sector, the government cannot make everything public. That will compromise the security of the government, the security of the country. So another thing is the Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister made mention of the government, the power concentration within the government. Power concentration power concentration doesn't mean that the government power concentration doesn't mean the government is not subject to criticism. In fact, Gambia government power concentration is not autocracy. Let's start with that. Every president has an executive power. When those powers are challenged in parliaments, in courts, and in election, it is democracy. And in the Gambia, that happens. In the Gambia, that happens. People are not afraid to criticize the government. Fear is a feeling, not a law. In autocracy, criticism is legally banned. In the Gambia, criticism is a deliberate. In the radio stations, in Facebook, and in newspapers. The government's cases confuses imperfection with autocracy. They see cracks in the wall and conclude that the room has fallen. The house of democracy in the Gambia still stands strong. The Gambia is a democratic state, not an autocratic state. My leader already has shown elections, freedom of speech, and institutions. Let me add another angle. International recognition. The Gambia is ranked a democratic state in global index. Autocracies get sanctioned. Gambia gets partnership. That proves that it is treated as a democracy. The world doesn't deal with Gambia.
We are not saying
the world doesn't deal with Gambia as a dictatorship because it is not one.
Deputy Opposition Leader, you have 1 minute.
Honorable judges, at the end of the day, the choice is simple. Do we level our beloved Gambia with a heavy word of autocracy when evidence shows that freedom, election, and accountability? Now, the government gives shadows and fear. We give facts and reality. And in the Gambia, and in the fact must triumph. The Gambia is a democratic nation according to the United Nations. So the Gambia is therefore a democratic state. I hereby conclude. In summary, I came before this honorable gathering.
It's time. Thank you, the last speaker of the House, the Deputy Opposition Leader. And now, if you can give us a few minutes to compile the scores and also, give remarks about the debate in general. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Lamin, and also thank you to our debaters for that insightful arguments. We will now open the floor for contribution from the general members on the table motion. If you wish to contribute, kindly raise your hand, and yeah, you'll be let in. Mr. Seni. Mr. Bojang?
Yes, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Good evening once again, everyone. Members of the 9 Executive Council, members of the University of the Gambia Debate Association, and our honorable Prime Ministers and the opposition debaters here. Well, interesting topic, wonderful topic. I think we all know what is going on in the Gambia. So debate is about to share ideas and suggestions, but I will just throw some few lights with regards to whether Gambia is a democratic state or not. I think Barrow and his government has failed Gambians since their inception in power. When the coalition government was coming in 2016, they come with promises of security reform, the out. There was no security reform. We have seen how the securities have been dealing with people recently. Peaceful gathering, they just come out and dismantle people anyhow. Just yesterday, security officers broke into a compound in Java, Sukuta, and arrest people, pointing guns at kids that, is still traumatizing them. So all these are showing us that Gambia is still far from democracy. Let's take a look at the recent issue of the Auditor General. It's true that the president can appoint the auditor general, but I think the president, his advisors, and that is the chief justice and others beside him, are misleading him. Auditor general have a term. He should spend 9 years in power. The only thing that can remove him there is when he is incompetent, or he is sick, or he is found liable of corruption. But Mr. Modi has none of those things attached to him. He is competent. He is doing his job as expected. So what is this telling us? That there is a foul play somewhere that the government is hiding us. High level of corruption in the Gambia. $300 million is missing at port. The president just put it under the carpet. No investigation. After the police investigation, there were no further cases taken by the government for it to go to court. The Russian oil scandal is down there. So Gambia, I think we have a long way to go. And me, I always tell people, like Muhammad Sabali will say, that's we do them. Gambia is far from going. We still have a long way to go. And let's bear with Barrow. Barrow is going to be with us still. 2026 is over. Let's think of 2031. Yeah, because I know Barrow, Mom. Let's just go. I just have these few contributions to say.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sini, for your contributions. Mr. Luis. Yeah, Mr. Luis, you may please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Mutresh. Yeah, as I said in the opening remarks, this topic it's really a thought-provoking topic. Yeah, so I will not dive into the aspect of security reforms because Mr. Saini already spoke about that. For me, where I'll come from is it's not only about Barrow. I will not even talk about Barrow's aspect because if I want to talk about that one, we'll end up spending another 1 hour. So I'll just base it on the Constitution, our Constitution. Remember, our last president was a dictator. He was having an autocratic regime. Nobody had freedom of speech. Nobody, but yet still, the country was having a constitution. He was using those constitutions, and at the end of the day, we cannot come for him. And that is the same constitution our president is using. Can you imagine? They brought the 2020 draft. That was people's choice. The same government threw it away because it didn't favor them. Because it limits the power of the president. So they threw it away. The government went and brought another constitution, which is the 2022 draft, which gives the president huge powers, even more than Yahya Jammeh. Because how can a president have the power to remove like local government leaders, like the mayors? How those people, they are voted by the people. How can the president want to have those powers to remove them out of office? That shows where he wants to go to at the end of the day. So for me, what I will say is this constitution, as far as we are using this constitution, it gives the president the power to be a dictator rather, and to give our government an autocratic regime governance. So for me, that is how I see it. So what the Gambia should do is, we should change the constitution. If we want peace, we should change the constitution. Because at the end of the day, just look at this protest, or they say like unlawful assembly. They will twist the law the way it favors them, take those people to court, and at the end of the day, it will drag for like 6 months and nothing will come out of it. So at the end of the day, to be honest, there is advantage and there is a disadvantage. We can say that this government gives people, the freedom of speech. Everybody can say anything. They are facilitating commissions of inquiry so that, at the end of the day, we can hold our government accountable. But on the other hand, too, it's a very big disadvantage to the people. Yeah, so I guess I'll just stop here because I guess there are many people who want to talk about this. Yeah, I see somebody's hand up. If this is our Songo, if you are a debater, please, you cannot give remarks on this session, please. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vivi. Mr. Finance Minister, Mr. Wise, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you. And then greetings to the 9th Executive Council of the Association of Gambian Students in India, and then the members of UTGDA Debate Association here, and then all the other members that are here. Yeah, actually the topic is very interesting. For me personally, I enjoy the topic. I enjoy the debate rather, I enjoyed the debate. Yeah, I believe the debaters they did justice to the topic. So now coming back to the debate, for me, I believe Gambia, like if you talk about democracy, I believe democracy is a concept. But I don't think there is any country in the world that is practicing democracy to the max. That is 100%. So we have to understand that one. Democracy is just a concept, and I'm very sure that like you can't apply democracy 100%, because when you are elected, you have that power. So sometimes you have to park the constitution aside and then you do what is good for the people. Yes. So I believe, we should now talk about like whether Gambia is in fact having 70% of democracy or not. If you ask me, I will say yes, Gambia we are practicing democracy, but not 100%. Because the thing is, when we say democracy, we are not talking about you removing Auditor General. No. But what we are saying is that people allowed to express their views. You understand? Now I'll give you people an example. If you look at Gambia, how many cases we are won against the state? How many cases? So if you said Gambia is not a democratic state, then it means you are telling us that all those cases are bogus. And then I can name up to 5 cases, and all those cases they were won against the state. Now, from 2021 to now, how many protests? You understand? You have seen youths going out. So if Gambia is not a democratic state, we will not have those people on the street. You understand? So, and then also, you have seen people challenging the rulings, or maybe challenging the rulings, or maybe challenging the actions of the government everywhere, either on online or offline, everything. So I believe the question should be, we need to work hard, we need to strengthen our democracy. Democracy is not only limited to voting, rule of law also should be observed. People should be allowed to express their views. And I believe all these things are happening in the Gambia. So the thing is, yes, we are not 100% democratic, but at somehow, some way, we are a democratic state. So thank you.
Why, POI, before you go, POI, please.
Okay, thank you. Okay, come.
Fine, please. If
You want debate, Luis? Luis,
I just want to ask one question.
Luis, if you...
Mr. Luis and Mr. Please, don't you make any contribution, just raise your hand. Mr. Sini Bojang, the floor is yours here. Can come in.
Yes, I want to come back again. I even forget what Model Luis. I wanted to counter some of the point that Model Luis, the Honorable VP have said, but YS have just given me points that I need to elaborate on. If you say democracy, freedom of speech, and other things are happening in the Gambia, I think I will tend to argue with this. You understand? We have seen, though people are winning cases against the state, the case of Bora, the case of Pamodu Bojang, yeah, but we have seen the president coming out threatening people as they are traitors to the state. The case of Madi Jobade, the president verbally came out and threatened him. He threatened media houses like that of Kerefatu and this guy, Kerefatu, and Africa TV, saying that these people they don't want development of the country. So to me, and recently we have been seeing them arresting journalists in the protests. These old past protests that have been coming out here, we have seen them arresting journalists, even though they will show them that we are media personnel, these are our media card and here and there. They are still arresting them and detaining them for no reason. And the most saddest thing is those in authority or those who should even come out and spoke about this, they are all quiet about it. Recently, we have not been seeing Gambia Press Union being active in these issues, coming out attacking the government on why they are doing this. Yes, coming to a Facebook comment and whatsoever, this has been happening since the agenda was in the Gambia. But one of his agenda was even freedom of speech, but it's not happening anymore. People who speak against them, he silenced them. Let me tell you the case of the likes of Mamadou Sabali, the likes of Dr. Cisse. These people call Barrow incompetent. They say he doesn't even know how to rule government. But what Barrow do? He pressed them, he suppressed them. And at the end of the day, they have to submit to him. And now they are, what Madingas call him, they are his, I don't know, let me not go that way because it's going to feel political. Let me just not go to that point. But at this point in time, we have seen what they are doing. Even if the president says something that is wrong, the Dr. Cisse and others will come and defend him publicly. So let's put those ones aside as well. Let's come to the corruption aspect. Democracy is not only about freedom of speech and here and there, but the government is completely corrupt in all aspects. There is no one sector in the Gambia that you can say is going 100% perfectly, working, doing their job as expected. The Ministry of Health is in a mess. The Ministry of Agriculture, let me not even talk about that. Can you imagine, is Gambia even a serious state when the budget of only state house, the presidential affairs budget is more than the budget of the agriculture. And we say agriculture is our backbone. We are not exporting things that is gonna bring more revenue to the country. We are just going backward. Educational system, let me not even talk about that. We all know our infrastructure is zero. We have seen the OIC project, it's all failed. If you go to Sukuta, everywhere is flooding. They fail us. So the government is far, 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 far from being a democratic government. I know there is no 100% democracy in this country, but we are far from it. And recently, we have seen the oppositions who are against him are all turning to him because they have seen saying that this man is not going anytime soon. So it's better they join him and they enjoy. We have seen the likes of my party crying out here, calling that the Gambia is sinking, the Gambia is finished. Now they are praising Barrow. So we have to see we have to see that we are far from developing. We are far from being a democratic state. The likes of Daban and Alaji Conte, Barrow froze his account here, his dollar account in Bloomberg. His project we are sinking. He has no other way. He has to submit to the government. That's the only thing he can do, and he's still suffering with them. Once you don't support them, they suffocate you. People are doing corruptions. They are working freely in this state. So let's just put that one aside. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. AG. Mr. Lewis, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. For me, my question is going to Wise because you said something like, okay, President Barrow sending the police to go and remove the Auditor General from office. That is not a problem. So I just want to ask: is that part of democracy? What type of democracy is that? Because I don't know that definition where you will bring it from with dictionary, but it will not happen here. So just tell me that what type of democracy is that? Yeah, that is my question.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis, for that. Mr. President, you may please comment. Mr. President, Sajo. Okay, Mr. Wise, Mr. Finance Minister, you can come in and answer your question.
Okay, yes. Luis, thank you for that question. As per the Constitution, the president has the right to appoint, the Auditor General, and then at some point also, he has the right to fire the Auditor General, as Basseni lamented. It might be based on because the Auditor General is incompetent or maybe is liable of corruption or things like that. But the reason why I said that's not a problem, immediately the day they removed the Auditor General from office, I think you must have seen the videos online. He went to his lawyer, that is Lamin Jeddaw, and then they are about to challenge the issue at the court. So that's why I say still there is democracy, because if there is no democracy, I don't think they will have even that power, to say let us go to the court and then we challenge this issue there. So still there is democracy. The president did, something that others believe that it is wrong, others believe that it is right, and then those that are affected, they are said they are going to the court. So that itself is democracy, because if it were, if it was the other way around, they would not even, think about it. They will say, no. Even if you go to the court, nothing will come out of it. But the thing is, now, if you look at Gambia, people have confidence in our justice system. People have trust in our justice system. So that is why 2 or 3 days you will see people, I will take you to court, things like that. So that is what we call democracy. Yeah, that is it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Able moderator, I was actually unmuted, but I thought, I believe was my connection that was kind of, I was facing network problem. So may I come in now?
Yes.
Yeah, so thank you very much. I believe this is a very timely topic and of course very enticing. Looking at the motion that is being tabled, reading, what's the motion again? It says, this House believes that the government of the Gambia operates as an autocratic regime. And looking under auspices of the motion, I believe if anyone has to talk on it, it's very obvious that one would highlight the aspect of democracy here and there, because it's autocratic we're talking about. And in one way or the other, the direct opposite of autocratic would have to do with democracy. But then looking at the motion, I think I'd side with the finance minister a bit, to some extent. That is to say, as far as governance is concerned, or as far as democracy is concerned, it's kind of subjective. It depends on how well one defines it to suit one's context. And again, I think if I'll give a contribution as far as this motion is concerned, it would I'd obviously make a balance on both of these sides. And then for the side of the proposition, I think like at some point it could be quite fair for one to say that the Gambia operates under autocratic regime, because looking at the political power remains highly centralized in the executive. Because by virtue of things, when you look at our I mean, like how the Gambia is run, we would say, okay, we have local government councils, we have this, we have that. But at the end of the day, everything that ought to be done is centralized within the government. Let's say, for instance, when you take countries like India, for example, you have a federal system wherein you have the state government, you as well have that of the main government, that is the central government per se. But in the case of the Gambia, we have the local government councils, but it's more or less by name and they don't exist by reality. Because at the end of the day, you have, let's say, subvented money that is supposed to be given to the local government councils. And in an event that the local government councils fall under an opposition, side of the opposition, let's say they're not part of the government, at the end of the day, it's always very challenging for them to get those, the subventions that they're supposed to get. Though I know at some point, one could talk about elections and a whole lot of things that we had government change here and there. But again, looking at the current status quo of the country, as hinted by the Auditor General on the side of, let's say, this issue of the auditor that is ongoing right now, that they have to go and forcefully take him out of the office. Can you imagine somebody that you appointed someone in a particular position and the person does not want to go into that position? And again, you want to force the person to, per se, assume that position. So I think those are kind of autocratic tendencies that one might argue here and there. And at some point, intimidations, just as on the side of political leaders. Here we are not on a political ground or whatsoever, but I've delved into how we had somebody bunkers cross-carpeting for the sake of I think the Gambia might not be classified as an autocratic state, because looking at it, just as I mentioned initially, for the side of the government, you come to the realization that Gambians have made a very great stride when it comes to a reform, or when it comes to changes that we ought to make. Though one might say, okay, it is not about government change, it is not about system change. All that Gambians did was system change. But then Gambians are obviously commended for Austin, Yaya Jammeh in 2016. And then, that peaceful transfer of power, the regular competitive elections we had afterwards, the independent media, to some extent, and ordinary citizens openly engage in political discourse and advocacy, showing that freedom of expression and, civic participation are alive. So all these things, to some extent, could be part of reasons one could say, okay, the Gambia is democratic. But again, just as I mentioned, when you look at the motion, this is a very timely motion, and both sides of the Achillean stand a chance as far as the state is concerned. Again, I believe the opposition could have also argued on the aspects of, the ongoing judicial reforms that we have, even though they could be easily revoted, especially when you talk about the aspect of, let's say, the TRRC, the Jano commissions, and a whole lot of commissions that are ongoing. One would tell you governments are very good when it comes to presentation, but when it comes to implementation, it's always a problem. And if you call yourself a democratic state, you cannot, if you cannot withstand these principles of implementation, again, it questions the democracy here and there. That aside, I believe, looking at the whole stuff, the country is active role in regional and international democratic frameworks further reinforce its democratic credentials, distancing it from an autocratic level. So the opposition could have argued on that. But I believe, all in all, this was really a very contested debate, and I'm pretty sure that the adjudication desk is put to a test. Let's look forward to seeing how the results would be. That being said, Sadio Eke Jaju, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, and to the adjudication team, if you are set, you may please let us know. Yeah, Mr. Seni, the floor is yours.
Boy, bow. Do not allow these people to be coming again and again, the boy. Invite other people, boy.
If you don't want to talk, you just keep going. Let us talk.
They are coming.
Why?
I just want to throw some small light with regards to what Wise was saying. Him saying that the removal of the gender is not a big deal. You cannot term that democratic. the president appointed him, but he cannot remove him like that. And his removal, there are procedures. You have to understand, auditors should be one of the most protected person in the country, because this is the guy that came out and tell us that whether the government, what they have spent it rightly or wrongly. You understand? Let's say today, if Sanjay decided to remove me like that from the council, and government members are just there saying it's with no reason, I have just been removed from the council, what are people gonna think? They're gonna think that there's a foul play somewhere. So one of the main issues that triggers this Mr. Moses issue is he bring up the issue of what we call forensic audit. I don't know whether you know forensic audit. That one, you can pass the audit to those who request you to do the audit without even passing it to the government. If you have remembered, there were many audits that we are taking to the Barrow's government, but he never came out with those audits. He leave them under the carpet because there were many scandals that were there. If we look at the 2020 audit that was just leaked through the website of National Audit, you are seeing that there were billions of dollars that were missing. So these are things that are showing us that these are the things that Mr. Morris is want to bring out to the general member of people. And that's where Barrow is stepping in. That's why he wants to stop him. And he cannot remove him like that. Even if he is to remove him, the three conditions that I said is, one, he has to be, whether he's incompetent, and Morris is competent. Nobody can doubt that. The second one is he has to be sick. Let's say he's moving, his head is twisting somehow. And that one, there has to be doctors who have to sit and verify that, honestly, Morris can never be an auditor because his head is no more there. And the third one is he has to do corruption. And when you do corruption, there should be a committee that will sit, and part of the committee, there should be high court judges. And none of these procedures we are taking. He was told that he's appointed a minister. He rejected the offer. And the next minute, we see paramilitaries were in his office. They forcefully remove him, and they bring in someone in. So this, and we have seen the Jiga board and many other, the Gambia Bar Association are calling the president to put this man back, because what he do is unlawful. It's illegal. So there is no way that the removal of Morris is democratic. With what I just said, I believe is that at some point in time, though we are not 100% Democrat, but at least we are 10. So 50-50 thing is what is in the Gambia. But the harm is more than the good in the Gambia at the moment.
Thank you, Mr. Editor. Mr. Finance Minister, you're welcome.
Yeah, Bane. Hey, Bao, my phone is in fact, 2%. But Baseri, actually what I'm saying is that, it is only the court that can determine, whether his removal is legal or is illegal. It is only the court. But what I'm saying is that, according to the executives, that is Barrow and his people, they said Mr. Cisse accepted the position, then later he declined. So I don't know which is which because I wasn't there. But what I am saying is that since Barrow removed him from that position, and then Mr. Cisse said that he is going to challenge that issue at the court. So that shows clearly that there is democracy in the Gambia. That's my point. The problem is, yes, the president might be, he overstepped. But if there are other options of, ratifying what the president did, then still there is democracy. We cannot rule the fact that there is no democracy. Yeah, that is my point. And then I'm not justifying what he did, but I'm just saying that, him saying that I'm going to court signals that there is democracy in the Gambia. So that's my point. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. West. Yes, Mr. Matrawe, you're welcome.
Good evening, colleagues. I hope you are all doing good. Okay, concerning about the topic, it's a very interesting. And in fact, it should be pushed, because the condition of the Gambia government right now, or the things that are going in the Gambia, we may say it is not regular, and some may think it is regular. But I believe democracy is by the people and for the people. So you just look at the recent protest, and you also look at the previous appointments. Then this year you will understand that the democracy is just there by name, but it's not in full implementation, from my own point of view. Yeah, then you look at the appointment of Mohamed Sabali. Mohamed Sabali was banned from holding public office, I think, 10 years by the Commission. But because of the president's his own personal and the party's interest, then he appointed him. Whatever. Sirinjai, these are the people who were against the president tenure in the country. They said that the president will not be sworn in the Gambia, and that's what happens. Understand? So when you also look at the appointment of Mr. Shaw right now, the president, we can say, okay, now he wants to cover the truth that the Auditor General revealed, or that the Auditor General is about to reveal. So he doesn't want that to happen. That's why he stepped forward by appointing him as a minister. So I don't think appointment is forced. So appointment is never a force. So you can accept appointment or you can reject appointment. So I believe that the government minister of information came out and he said that he accepted the letter he rejected. Well, it is his right. And besides, even that doesn't happen, the Minister of Information will say that because he is always speaking, or he will also always speak in the favor of the government. He is part of the government. We heard what they said about the government. We heard what they said about Barrow. So I believe democracy is not exercised in the Gambia. It is just by words or it is just by sealing. Our youth have been arrested and they are taken to court and they want to silence them because of exercising their own rights. They say that no, protest means what? To show your emotion, to show what you feel. We have these two things, right and privilege, are quite different. But I believe that it is a peaceful protest and a peaceful gathering. Naming ceremonies are there, marriage ceremony, but those are not arrested. Just yesterday, what happened? Jabam Sukuta case. And right now, the Minister of Land is saying that they are going to set a commission. This is also going to consume the resources of the country. The president said that corruption is something. Corruption is by name. You understand? It's not in full implementation. That's what the president believes. So I believe that right now,
All right,
Gambia
Mr. Speaker,
is not exercising
moderator,
it.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but the adjudication team is done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Moderator, can we go ahead?
Yes, Mr. Ba. If you are said, you can please go ahead.
All right, thank you. That was an interesting debate. I mean, that is where we took a lot of time when it comes to who actually, convinced the judges and who made more, who understood the rules and the responsibilities of what the various positions in the BP system or the BP style, in general. So I just have brief remarks that I want to highlight. Then when I'm done, Mr. President Al Yasimba will also do the same. Then we will conclude it by announcing the results of the debate itself. So number one on my remarks is the basic understandings of the rules that was assigned to each debater. In general, I think the understanding of rules was a big problem. Most of the debaters in this debate did not actually understand some of these debates. Some of the rules assigned to maybe, let's say, the prime minister, the deputy opposition leader, the opposition leader, and the deputy prime minister. What you ought to do as the prime minister, what you ought to do as the opposition leader, and what you ought to do as the deputy prime minister. So I think that was a major problem in this debate. So along the line, sometimes you will not actually even understand, some of the debates or some of the arguments that were put forward. And I think also one of the problems that we had in this debate was the reading aspect. I think that was highlighted in the last round that we had, that this debate is about debate and not about reading. So that is why some of you under-debated due to the fact that you are reading and not debating. So when you debate, you have a lot of time, you do a lot. But when you read, you just read within 2-3 minutes and you will be done. So I think that was also another problem when it comes to this debate. And the nitty-gritty of, in fact, the debate, the motion itself, I think was a problem. The understanding of the motion, which is this House believes that the Gambia government operates as an autocratic regime. The meaning of autocracy was basically highlighted by all, but I don't think the understanding of autocracy was highlighted. Autocracy is a loaded term with different, meanings, different types, and so on. But I think also the Prime Minister could have set the House in order. If the Prime Minister did not set the House in order with a correct perimeter, the opposition leaders will have challenged that, but we did not see in this debate. Or the Deputy Prime Minister could have come and, set the House in order with the right, perimeter and so on. But that also was not done, and also the Deputy Opposition Leader did not also do the same to set the House in order. So a clear perimeter was not either giving or but also or challenge. So that is where we have some, we have no line sense of direction throughout this debate when it comes to what we mean by autocracy. So, we did not set the perimeter whether it was just constitutional autocracy or was it monarchical autocracy or was it military autocracy. So I think that was also a problem. The understanding of the debate, the motion of the debate was an issue. If that was set, if the autocracy, the meaning of autocracy, the understanding of autocracy was there, I think we would have had a more interesting debate. So yeah, this is just some of the things I have noticed when it comes to this round of debate between the Gambian students in India. And I will now give the floor to Mr. President Aliasim Ba, to highlight some of the things that he also saw throughout the debate. Thank you.
Thank you very much, DSG. Well, thank you to our debaters for bringing up that good debate. Well, from my perspective, it was an okay debate. To be honest, I expected better from both sides, considering the fact that the motion was given to you, I think, a day or two before. But the fact that most of you guys are first time debaters, so it is an understandable thing. So now let's go to my analysis of the debate. Well, to begin with the Prime Minister, first, can I confirm if I'm audible, please? Perfect. So now let's begin with the Prime Minister of the House. I had expected that you would set up a parameter of the debate and, you would be the one to lead the case of the government bench. However, what I saw you did was, of course, you did a very good job. You came and gave your structure, which was good. You also gave your definition of some of the key terms, like what autocratic mean. And I think you define it as a system of government where power is centralized on small groups of people, something like that. So you did make mention of a point which was about the executive power. The power is centralized in the executive. That was a good point. However, I feel like it was not much explained because when you say that power is centralized in the executive, you should have explained it in such a way that we would understand that indeed the executive has been doing a lot of things that they are not supposed to do. But what we heard you say is the issue of the constitution being rejected and the forming of collaboration with the APRC, which I feel like was not, it was the issue. It was an issue of the Adam Barrow as an MPP leader and not the executive in general, or not the Gambia government in general forming alliance with the NPP. So now, aside from that too, you also made mention of the fact that people were afraid to speak, which was the freedom of expression, something like that. And you did made mention of the fact that a guy called Lamin J was um, arrested simply because he led a protest. And you also made mention of the fact that Madi Jabati, who was, you said, a journalist. So Madi is not actually a journalist, he is an activist. So be mindful of your utterances because things like this might cost you a lot. But aside from that, what I love about your debate was the fact that you were giving us real life example of situations that are happening in the country. Now let's go to the opposition leader of the House. So the opposition leader of the House came in with so much energy, which I loved. But honestly, the fact that she rejected her POIs gave her 0 marks for POI, which cost her a lot. So in subsequent debate, suppose you make it to subsequent rounds, you're supposed to take a POI because when you do not take a POI, you are losing 5 marks from each of the judges. So if it is two judges, you're losing 5 marks from Judge 1 and 5 marks from Judge 2. If it is three judges, you're going to lose 15 marks. So please be careful of that. And aside from that, too, you also on the debated, which was you debated about 4 minutes. So we expected better from you because you are like the leader of the opposition. So you should come and debunk the points of the prime minister. Your rebuttals were good, but I had expected that you would debunk the points of the prime minister one by one with much evidence and statistics. So aside from that too, your debate was also good, and you should also work on having a summary in your subsequent debates. So now let's come to the Deputy Prime Minister. He also came up with a very good energy, but unfortunately he also under debated. But the fact that no one, I think no one asked him a POI, if I can remember. Yeah, so he also got the full mark for POI, but the fact that you under debated also cost you a lot. And yeah, you also the deputy prime minister. You're expected to strengthen the points of the prime minister and clarify and debunk the points of the opposition leader. However, that was not done as per how I expected it. So now let's come to the deputy opposition leader who was the last speaker of the house. I feel like you have a potential of being a very good debater. However, you need to be very mindful because when you came from your structure, you did mention that you are going to define the key terms. You are going to give your perimeter points and all of that. So, as a deputy opposition leader, it is not your responsibility to define the key terms of the motion. It is also not your responsibility to give perimeter of the debate. So you spend most of your time defining the key terms of the motion, telling us what autocracy is, what democracy is, and also give a perimeter in the Gambia and all of that. So you wasted a lot of your time doing something that is not your role. So that is why when you look at your score sheet, you would see that you got low marks for understanding of role because that is an indication that you do not understand your role very well. And aside from that, there is also like the presentation was not that coherent that much. Sometimes we would not know whether you are strengthening or debunking. So, and this is not only you, this applies to each and every speaker here. So you need to make it very clear. If you are coming to debunk the points of your opponent, tell us as judges that the speaker. Let's move on to my rebuttals. I would begin by rebutting point A, which was said by the Prime Minister, which is about freedom of expression. I believe this, and that. So you need to guide the House about things that you are doing. And also, after debunking, you also come and strengthen. Tell the honorable judges that you are coming to strengthen the points of your partner. And so you need to guide the House. It's just like an essay. You don't just write from top to bottom. So you do it in a very logical way. So this does not apply to only the deputy opposition leader, but to each and every individual in the House. So aside from that, I think it was a good debate and an okay one. So you all need to learn from this. And yeah, that is all from me. Yeah, like I said, put much more emphasis on guiding the judges. If you're coming to debunk, tell us you're coming to debunk. Otherwise, you don't just speak like that. Sometimes you will make a lot of sense, but if you're not following the rubrics of the debate, it will be very difficult for you to score high marks. And be also very mindful of your timing. Like I said, when you debate for like 4 minutes or 3 minutes, you're giving us signals that you do not know what you're coming to talk about. So please ensure that you debate at least for 6 good minutes, or even, yeah, 6 good minutes it's a good timing. So please never debate for 4 minutes or even 3 minutes. But away from that, you all have potentials of being very good debaters. I had the opportunity of educating the debate competition last time. It was like this in the early rounds, but then as we moved on to the subsequent rounds, they were all improving. So this should also be a learning point for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Now we move on to the announcement of the results. Just give me 1 minute to confirm this. Thank you. All right. So yes, the results are in, and the government bench scored 59% of the debate, while the opposition bench scored 49% of the debate. I repeat again, the government scored 59% of the debate. The opposition bench scored 49% of the debate. So from our end, the University of the Gambia Debate Association, this is the adjudication team from me and Mr. President. We thank you all for your contributions, for your participation, and your understanding of some of our issues, especially when it comes to the network issues. But I mean, we are in Gambia, so I believe some of you will understand. So yes, thank you.
Um, Sorry, honorable speakers, I think it would be good you also give us the best speaker of the day. We always keep track of that, please.
All right, let me confirm with Mr. President first. Thank you so much. Yeah. So according to the score sheet, the best speaker of the debate was the deputy opposition leader. The deputy opposition leader was the best speaker of the debate. Thank you.
Thank you, the education desk for that. Yeah. So going forward, I would like to call the welfare minister, Mrs. Fatimata Bite, to please give us the closing remarks. Mrs. Bite, if you are with us.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you so much, Mr. Bao. Hope I am audible.
Yes, you are.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to extend my gratitude to the Association of Gam-In and the UTGDA for having this important event going on. And to all the participants, I really applaud you for your courage and convictions. Today's debate has been a testament to the power of dialogue and the vibrant intellectual spirit of Gambian units. I'll tell you this, whether you argued for or against the motion, you have shown a deep commitment to the progress of our nation. As reflected on the theme, from dialogue to development, is a powerful reminder that our collective future is shaped not by silence, but by constructive conversation. And I will say congratulations to the winners. We are all winners here. Nobody lost the game. You all did well. Everybody searched on the given topic, and we are really proud of you all. So I hope we all attend the subsequent debate. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, Mrs. Bete. And that with that, we officially conclude today's debate session. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining tonight.